Okay, so hello and welcome to our pre-match press conference ahead of our last match of the calendar year against Hyderabad FC. We take on Hyderabad FC day after tomorrow. So we have with us our head coach Bruzon and player David Lalhlansanga to take your questions. So please.
This is a chance for a hat trick. This is the first time it's a chance for a hat trick, winning hat trick.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a chance to keep progressing and do things in the cell that we did not do before. We take it. This is an opportunity, as you say. We are not being very accurate with our away games in recent times. This is the last year. We were talking a lot about what we have to do in these last games of the year. We are coming with everything because we think that it's again very important to consolidate our position on the table.
If I'm not wrong, it's raining there. In Hyderabad, it's raining.
No issues. As you know, we are gonna never find excuses. Here it was also raining last week. We could practice in wet field. So in any condition that we are gonna be there in Hyderabad, we are gonna try to put the condition in our favor.
A few questions for David before we return to coach. So questions for David, please.
David, how difficult to cope up with the situation? I mean to say that you are once upon a time you are the poster boy of the moment and you are from a lot, you scored, but it is all in a I-League Duran Cup. But now the ISL, it's a different ballgame. How difficult to cope up with the situation?
Thank you. This is my first ISL. It's very difficult to adapt, but I adapt a little bit, and we have good player, Clayton, Dimi, foreigner, good player, and it's time. Coach gives me a chance, and I play good, and I mean. Coach gave me a chance, thank you, and he gave us more game time, and I scored. This is my best for my best match in ISL, and I try my best, and I will help the team.
In Indian club football is dominated by the foreign footballer.
Yes.
But players like you, Vishnu, and in other clubs, other Indian boys is performing really well. Is it inspiring for you, those who are come from I-League, or are you dreaming something bigger to getting or competing with the foreigners?
Yeah, we have good player Vishnu Nanda Mahesh, but we play very good, and coach trusts me every player, and he motivates us in the practice, and he teaches us how to play and to have good connection to each other, and that's why we play very good now. Thank you.
Inspiring.
Good evening. Do you have any special celebration plan to welcome the new year after scoring the goal against Hyderabad?
No, not now. But I will try to score.
Okay, Dr. Sir, you have a question for David?
No, for Bruzon.
Okay, we'll come to coach in a bit. Shivaji, I think, has a question for you.
David, myself, Shivaji, working for Boston newspaper. I just want to know who is the role model in Indian football? Who is your idol?
Arlington Chetri.
Okay, so thank you. Questions for David? No questions for David again. So we'll get to coach now. So yes, sir, you have a question.
Bruzon here. Welcome. There's a tendency of foreign coaches that Indian players are not superior as compared to foreign players. But you change that. You had high confidence in this David and other players. They are performing well. So what is your concept about Indian players? They are performing well.
Absolutely, and I think that in these bad times that we have with the injuries, the sustaining players of the team, they were the Indian players. We have a base of very good Indian players. Probably we don't have a depth of other teams, but the players that were enjoying their time, again, I think that they were sustaining the team very, very well in these bad times when we had to do more rotations with the foreign players due to the injuries, sanctions, and yes, I think that we have a good collection of Indian players, and I think that they know about that, and this is the reason why that they are on the field. They feel is one of the areas of East Bengal that we feel strong and that we have nothing to look at others. With the Indian contingent, I think that the team is in good hands.
Coach, when I started performance of Clayton Silva, not after the month, he's the most senior guy in this team. But suddenly, if you follow the last two matches, we saw a different type of performance from Clayton Silva. How is managed Clayton Silva, or how you?
It's a repeated question since I came here. I think that in every press conference you ask me about him because you know his potential. So all of you were wondering what happened with Clayton, and I was telling openly and clear, Clayton is on his way. He's working well, he's improving, week by week he's getting that point, and the reality is that Clayton could not enjoy a full pre-season because he was having some physical issues. But this is already part of the past. Clayton now is consolidated in the team, a leader, an important player for us, and I can assure you that following the last practices, we are already enjoying the best version of Clayton.
Some people say that Hyderabad FC, it's not really a very tough opponent for his football. What is your analysis?
Good question, because it's part of our talk, internal talk to the players. I think that is a critical moment of the season for us, when we are facing every rival not feeling the superior side on the field or the favorites, and in this game it's tricky because the tendency has changed. Many is considering us the favorites for this game, that we are in a good run of results and they are suffering, but in football this is very, very tricky. In the moment that you relax a little bit or you consider your opposition less than you, is when you are going to get for sure a surprise. So I hope that we can consolidate the work of the last few weeks. I think that Hyderabad is a good team, probably lacking some consistency and probably lacking 90 minutes of regular good football, but they have peaks of form. I think that they have been performing well in the last few weeks, but having some problems at their back. And what is sure is that in the last game, in the first 45 minutes, they were looking at team sharp with the change of the coach, many players trying to demonstrate that they have a position in the team. And again, I repeat, a Hyderabad game for us, we know very well that it's a tricky game and we don't want to let the opportunity go because we have been talking a lot about the last part of the season, and I think that this is the game that will end that we have the possibility to complete a good 2024 if we can win this game, if we can climb positions, and especially with the calendar of the month of January, which is probably the most demanding calendar for any ISL club. We are going to play Mumbai City, we are going to play Mohun Bagan, Goa, Kerala Blasters, and again Mumbai City. So the points that we can collect now are going to be points of good need for us for facing the tough calendar that we have in January.
Hi coach, this is Shweta here. Your team is in good momentum, and in the last match, after the match, Shweta complained about the pitch of the Hyderabad FC's ground, and complained about the long grasses over there. And what is your take on that? That is my first part of the question. And you can answer and I will ask you the second part.
We could see the game on TV, and the grass was long and dry, so probably there was less water in the previous days of the game, and probably the coach wanted to play a different gaming condition. But for this, we have the ASL. I think that they are the ones granting the conditions of the field, that all the clubs, all the fields are similar one to the others. There is even a measurement for cutting the grass. So I hope that ISL has shown what you just mentioned, and that we play in a field that is a field that could be considered a ISL standard.
I have a second part of my question. Coach, your ex-student, Doyen Rose, joined OSIPC. Is there any chance of the fans see such a reunion in Bengal in coming days, in coming months?
Who? Dori?
Doyen joined Orissa.
In East Bengal?
No, I'm just asking that, is there any chance of any other of your student guys can join Bengal in becoming transfer? And fans expect that?
Yeah. Yes, there is chances, and there is also chances for players that were not in my hands. So what we are going to try to do is decide well what is the profile that we need, and I cannot tell you nothing because we are still managing, studying, analyzing, and in discussions with some players. So probably soon, I hope that in the next week or next 10 days we'll find a replacement for the second leg for the injury of Talal.
Thank you. What is the injury list of your team?
So
your team.
Injuries. We have a collection, important collection of injuries. The last one is Rakib. I prefer not to go very much in detail regarding the recovery time, but we are going to miss Rakib in the next few weeks. In the next game, we are going to miss also Hector because of cards, and the rest of the injuries you already know. So. Yeah, we have to cope with this, and again, I don't want to stop sticking to this thing a lot because every time we had a problem, we have shown and it's proven that we can with a good solution. So what our focus and our sport now is in the solutions.
What is the condition of Saul Crespo? Are you in touch with your Spanish midfielder?
Yeah, we are in touch with every player daily, especially our medical department, and they report back to us. Saul on second will join the team context, and from there we will have a proper evaluation. But our calculation is that Saul probably he will be luckily in the game against for Mohumbagan. It's going to be complicated, so he's going to be on Mohumbagan or Oa.
Any more questions?
On 19th.
I think this is the last question.
I coach Rahul this side from Red Sports. Coach, as we are at the halfway mark of the league, many teams head coach will, prefer to give rest to some of their key players to, focus on the workload management. How is that is difficult in East Bengal? And also, as you just mentioned, that the next month going to be a demanding situation. So, how difficult will it be for your team?
The conditions are the same for every club. We have the exception that we are playing one more competition with the AFC Challenge League. That week was very demanding for us, and we are coming from that week with back-to-back games every 4 or 5 days. But I think that the other teams, they also have their own problems with the calendar and accumulation of games. Nothing to say. If we have a squad of 25 high-performing players, we would be rotating with more warranties of getting results, but as you know, we have a squad that we also promote developmental players, young players. Sometimes they can have the chance, so for us is in the current condition of the team with so many injuries, so many problems, and with this tough schedule, we are going to try always to have on the pitch the players that are in their best moment. When we are not thinking in giving rest, because we are on the limit of our strengths and we need to use all our resources to keep collecting points.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Coach. Thank you. One for
Coming, Tomboy.
It's my